I'm going to take you to the Situation Room very shortly. Daniel Dazi is standing by for us. So this is where we just came from. That is Awutu West. We're going very soon. We'll be populating our figures there in that part of the map. But this is how it looks like so far. Let's go to Daniel and find out what has changed. Hello, Daniel. All right, so Daniel is in the Situation Room. He'll be joining us. What is happening in the Situation Room is that they're monitoring all the constituencies to figure out what is happening, which results are in, provisional, declared, and once it is declared, we put them up here in our map. And the map gives you an idea what is happening. If you look at what is happening so far, we've had some results from the Upper East region. Like I said earlier on, we've had something from Busa North. In the Busa North constituency, it looks good for the NDC over there, which is really not a departure from the norm. I'm going to take you right now to the Situation Room. Daniel is ready with some figures. Hello, Daniel.
You hear me? Gifty, can you hear me?
Perfectly. I hear you. Please go ahead. Right,
Gifty. Thank you. I am here in the Situation Room. I had to move from Studio 997 because this is where all the action takes place. This is where we receive all the results from the various constituencies across the country, as you can see. And I have my gallant men and women here working hard to make sure we have all the results. Let me start with Oreku Ampofo. We usually see you presenting the sports news, but now you're a number cruncher. Tell me, what do you do here?
Well, so the process is simple. For me, I'm situated at the Upper West region, and we have 11 constituencies here. So what we do have is that we have correspondents in each of these constituencies, and they are updating us with the information that we're getting. So they send us the numbers. They've been at the collation centers for each of these constituencies, and then they are sending us the numbers, and then we update them into the system, which then goes to a verification room, and then is verified, and then we give you the information out.
Wow, it sounds like a processing factory.
Yeah.
A very detailed one. Thank you very much, Oreku Ampofo. I'm going to move to a couple more of the team members here in the Situation Room. Saminiwa is here. Saminiwa, how has the night been? You were here last night when I was leaving.
Yeah.
So how has the night been?
It's been quite tedious because we've been waiting for the figures to put together, but then there are some delays being phased out there, so we keep waiting. As and when they come in, we put them together.
So just to be clear, what may be perceived as delays are because we are waiting for the certified results from the Electoral Commission?
Yeah, because we are waiting for the pink sheets to verify if the figures coming in are the real thing that is out there. There are some misunderstanding going on at the collation center, so there are delays. It hasn't been even certified or pronounced out there, and some people are also asking for a recount and all that, so that contributes to the whole delay in the process.
Right. Thank you so much, Samini. And this is just so you know that here at your election headquarters, we ensure that the results you get wherever you are across the country is certified from the Electoral Commission, and you can count on it. Some would say you can take it to the bank. Faustina, tell me, and of course, Faustina Safo is with us in the newsroom. This is a different kind of atmosphere, isn't it? The results are coming. It's exciting on a personal level and on a professional level. How's the experience been for you?
It's been great so far. We're making sure that we get verified results. So I'm in charge of the Western North region, and so far we have 9 constituencies. So over the 9, they've been sending us results from the polling centers and stations across the region. But this time we're expecting them to give us constituency results, and then we'll have to verify them as well. So we're still awake.
So what are some of the constituencies you're working with?
We're working with 9 different constituencies in the Western North region. We have Draposo, we have Sechuiaso, and the list is endless. But then 9 constituencies. So far, we've received results from 2 constituencies in that region
Which
alone.
Constituencies are these?
We've received from Bibiani, we've received from Owin as well. So we're expecting the other ones to also verify and then send us the pink sheets, and then we have our results ready.
That's Bibiani and Hiasu Bekwai?
Yes, please.
You know, that's one of the few seats in the Western North region where the NPP has held over time.
Yeah.
From what you saw, is it any different?
Well, from what we are seeing, we're hoping to verify them before putting out the results, but from what we are seeing, they're doing very well.
Right, they are doing very well. That's all Fosti is allowed to say here. But stay with us. We'll soon be verifying the results from the Bibini and Hiaso-Bekwai constituency and all the other 275 constituencies across the country. 51 have come through so far at the last count. That could have been updated any time between the time I started talking to you and now, because I'm sure you heard a number of constituency names being shouted as we were talking. This is the Situation Room. Very soon, we'll take you to social media where we'll find out how you have been reacting to the various results that we have heard. Of course, from yesterday, John Dumelo and Awutu West Wogon has been trending. Lejo Kuku and Dr. Bernard Okoboy has also been trending for different reasons. Some say he's winning, some say he's losing. We'll bring you those results. Of course, for one of the first times in election history, we got an election result from a parliamentary candidate on social media. Last night, Tangoba Abayagi, who is the Upper East Regional Minister and parliamentary candidate for the Mnavrongo Central constituency, announced that she had lost on her Facebook page. And we brought you that live from the Situation Room. Trust us, we will definitely let you know the conversations which are ongoing from across the country and the world here in the Situation Room. Back to you, Gifty.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Very soon we'll be crossing over to the 997 studios where Mamavi Oswabuaje and Kojo Youngson are standing by with private legal practitioner NS Kofi Abochi. But if you're just joining in, I just wanted to have a look at what we have in so far. Start from the Upper East region. The Upper East region, we have some results coming in from there. I take you to Busa North first. In the Busa North constituency, we have the NDC with 63.3% so far, 63.3%. That is a Busa North constituency with the NPP 27.6%. Now the figures 16,654 for the NDC, 6,931 for the NPP. In Busa South, you have 15,677 for the NDC, that is 58.3%, and 5,052, which is 30.4% for the NPP. I take you to Bolgatanga East. Bolgatanga East, the figures so far, 18,205. In fact, the voter turnout was 85%, and that's massive. John Mahama, or the NDC there, has 67.4%. The NPP, 27.7%, which is 5,182. Let's take a look at Nabdam. In Nabdam constituency, the NDC has won there, 56.8%, 38.3% for Nana Akufo-Addo, the NPP. And then we have Garu, of course, the NDC is leading there as well, and Pusiga, the NDC, leading there as well with 55%. Let's cross over now to the to the 997 studios. We'll take you through the figures when we return.
Headquarters. We've been at this since the very beginning, the night before the polls began, and this is the morning after. The numbers are now rolling in. That's what we're interested in. That's what we're all excited about. And in fact, we are coloring that national map briskly as the certified figures keep coming in. If you want to know who's won, here's where you'll find out. So stay with us on your election headquarters. Speaking of which, don't stop using that hashtag, Election HQ. Whatever it is you're saying, wherever you're saying it, make sure it is preceded with that hashtag. So we will see and share whatever your thoughts may be. My name is Kojo Youngson. It's a pleasure to start this fresh morning with you. Mamavi and my colleagues, Daniel and Gifty, of course, have been keeping things rolling. And there are even more of your favorite names here on the JoyNews team to come. But it's that time when we need to start sitting down, breaking things down, analyzing what is coming in, getting a full understanding of it. And boy, do we have the absolute best analyst for this time of morning. We'll be introducing you to NS Kofi Abochi in just a short while, as if he needs introduction. But this is your live election coverage. It's brought to you by the kindness of Petrosol, clean fuel in full quality and quantity is always a delightful experience. It's also brought to you by Cowbell Coffee. Taste it, love it. McDan Shipping and Logistics Limited, your total logistics partner. Pad Ava Limited, your home of modern furniture. DDP Outdoor Limited, serving you great brands. Festiva, adding flavors to your life. Wutriye Lotteries, star 787 hash, Ghana's premier and biggest jackpot lottery, and HEPA Plus mixture for your general well-being. Now, normally, if you were to turn on your radio at this time, you'd be enjoying the Super Morning Show. You would have just had the 6 a.m. news brought to you by Total Petroleum. Total, we go the extra mile for you. Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. Bedrock Insurance, experience the Bedrock 3 before 3 work claims of up to 3,000 Ghana cedis reported before 3 p.m. Pay the same day. Call them on 050-167-3296. And, of course, Bedrock Insurance, protecting the things you truly value.
Yeah, and Kojo Daniel, myself, took our listeners and our viewers through the newspapers, which is brought to you by Zenith Bank. It's the online news review brought to you by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, also Goil Good Energy.
Right. Now, if you've heard that Airtel Tigo is giving you the opportunity to make free Airtel Tigo calls every day from 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. for 6 months, then you've actually heard right. 6 months, that's what it is. So now you know, what are you waiting for? Just get a new Airtel Tigo SIM, make a transaction with Airtel Tigo Money, and get free Airtel Tigo calls every morning for 6 months. If you're already on Airtel Tigo Money, then just dial star 110 hash, select option 2, and subscribe for the morning offer with as little as 2 Ghana cedis and share all of your kokonsan every morning for free. Don't waste time at all. Buy an Airtel Tigo SIM today and get talking. Airtel Tigo Money, life is simple.
And of course, Joy Business Report on the Super Morning Show. Kojo's Super Morning Show is brought to you by Cowbank. Forward together, Airtel Tigo. Have you heard that Airtel Tigo calls from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Airtel Tigo money transfers are now free on new SIMs? Well, yes. So now you know life is simple.
Right. So, you know, you can now start, grow, and run your business with First National Bank. Now, with the First National Bank Gold Business Account, you get a range of payment solutions on their award-winning platform to bank on the go and even to pay Forex abroad. Their enhanced business toolkit will help you navigate and respond to the current environment, provide merchant service solutions, innovative credit packages, and access to expert bankers to give you the advice and support you need. It takes a bank that does more to help start, run, and grow your business. So go take a visit to them at any of their branches. They're in all the malls: Accra, Junction, Makola, West Hills, and Achimota malls. They're in Tema Community 11 at Jan Towers, Lodestar Heights in Tema Community 1, Market Circle in Takrady, Snit Complex in Edum Kumasi, or their head office, which is at the Accra Financial Center building. It's more than just a business to you, and that is why they help. First National Bank Ghana is a subsidiary of the First Rand Group of South Africa. First National Bank, how can we help you?
So, Kojo, if we're not doing the elections the morning after and still sharing the results with our listeners and our viewers, you'll probably, drop some inspirational song on the Super Morning Show.
I probably would.
So how about you sing it?
Oh, why are you like this?
Inspirational song on the Super Morning Show usually is brought to you by Duraplus, where Duraplus goes, water flows, and EDC. With EDC, financial independence is possible.
And I'll tell you what I would have done right after that song. I would have brought you our Say It Right segment with Enimwa. Say It Right is brought to you every morning by Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited. Kingdom, your number one stop for all office essentials and stationery.
And of course, our campaign is still on even during this period of election. The Arrive Alive campaign is brought to you by JoyNews and Multimedia Group and supported by Toyota Ghana Company Limited. Toyota, superior quality. Logistics movers, we help you relocate. Avoid all distractions. Keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. That's how to ensure your safe arrival.
Speaking of safe arrival, I don't think there's a safer car that you can arrive in if you went shopping at Toyota than the Toyota Starlet, a 1.4-litre engine capacity hatchback with versatility, convenience, and elegance. Beautiful car. Comes with a great deal as well. An early bird price, as well as a 1-year or 20,000 kilometer free service offer. It also comes with a manufacturer's warranty of 5 years or 150,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. So listen, call them on 0302 910 204 or stop by their Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Tamale, Takwa or Takrady branches to enjoy these great deals. Remember, the offer is valid while stock lasts. Toyota Starlet, a star is born. Toyota Ghana Company Limited is proud to be associated with Joy FM and Joy News' Drive Safe tips on the Super Morning Show. Toyota, superior quality.
And if you're thinking of the safest, hassle-free and the most secured way of relocating or transporting your goods, I've got something for you. Logistics Movers is here for you with a professional and cost-effective way of moving your office and household items within and outside Accra or wherever on the planet. Logistics Movers has what it takes to put a smile on your face, as that is our hallmark. So contact Logistics Movers on these numbers: 050 127 7363 or 0302 918349, or email info@logisticsmovers.com, or just visit the website www.logisticsmovers.com. Logistics Movers, we help you relocate.
He's a lawyer. He's the dean of the UPSA Law School, and he's our guest this morning as we break things down. And so much has happened. There's so much to break down. We'll be doing it together with Kofi Abuchi in just a moment. First, though, let's say a big thank you to Compu Ghana. Shop at any Compu Ghana branch nationwide and get up to 40% discount and free delivery. Compu Ghana, passion for technology. We're thanking them, of course, for helping us bring you the news review as we do every morning. Now, going cashless, it just makes life convenient. It's one of those things you take for granted, but when you go to a Goyle forecourt and they tell you that you can use your GH Link card to pay for lubricants and fuel at any of their 400 locations, then you appreciate convenience. That's when you appreciate good energy from Goyle. Yenara Yenzi.
So, saying it right does not come by chance. You say it right? With any
I try.
Okay.
Try, yes.
So you need to read the right books early in life. This is why Kingdom Books, your number one stop books and stationery shop with over 40 years experience, is offering great discount on readers and other learning materials to help your kids to say it right. These readers' books learning materials include phonics flashcards, Aesop's Fables, Oliver Twist, The Fish That Talked, also Growing Up for Girls, Illustrated Classics, Junior Illustrated Grammar, Punctuation, and many more. Visit any Kingdom Books and Stationery shop. Get a good discount on your purchase, and you can call them 050-140-1050 or 0244-311-955. Why don't we say good morning to you, Mr. Kofi Abuchi? Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning.
And welcome to our coverage.
Thank you.
So how were you observing the process of voting yesterday?
Listening to Joy.
Thank you. It's your election headquarters, but what's your verdict on the conduct of the polls?
I think by and large, our negative expectations haven't come to pass. We may have overhyped the fears, and for good reason. It is better to plan for the worst. To expect the worst and actually have the best come to pass. And so I think overall, I'm quite excited to have witnessed a rather smooth process, and a process that appears to have been, again, generally accepted. So far, I haven't had any major complaints from the parties. They're having sporadic, isolated incidents resulting in deaths across the country in some places. There's no perfect election. And so I'm not surprised that actually we've had some of these pockets of terrible incidents that ideally shouldn't have happened. So yes, overall, I have observed, listening to the radio station. I've been listening to Joy essentially, and I think your coverage has also, from year to year, spared this country in many ways, because sometimes when you do call the elections, even though constitutional people would ideally not recommend this, but it has had its own positive effect in some cases, because what it does is that it tends to be the early news that, as it were, calms people's nerves, and so before the official results are declared, people already know what to expect, and then it sort of undermines and reduces the prospect of anybody else challenging, particularly those who don't have good grounds, because they know that somehow the public have already been informed. So I think overall we're in known waters, and I think we should just continue monitoring the process until we have a result at the end of the day, officially.
There is so much we don't yet know for sure. But of course, information has been coming in from across the country. And we're seeing how certain parts of the country have turned out some surprising outcomes. John Peter Amewu performing amazingly in Hohoe. In fact, for the very first time, we've been able to certify certain polling stations where the NPP has never in the history of our nation won. But John Peter Amewu has. I mean, let's start from there. That's just one of the few examples of information that's coming in that we don't have the certified results from Hohoe yet. But we are already hearing of how well he has performed. How does that strike you, sticking with Mr. Amewu and his constituency?
I sum the election up in 2 words: tradition and change. This election reflects, in some circumstances, the fact that we are in traditional waters, and some parts of the country clearly have returned that. I mean, the Ashanti region in particular, the results should not surprise anyone. This has been the trend since '92. The Volta region generally, again, this has been the trend since 1992. So these 2 regions, for example, reflect tradition, i.e., that voters will stick to what they do and what they know, and the fact that there are political traditions that do not change, electoral cycle in and out. That's the traditional part. Then we have change. Peter Amewu, I think, represents change. And he represented change when the NPP came into power in 2016. Having essentially, in the minds of many people, he delivered the Volta region in a very funny way, because he delivered the Volta region without delivering the results. What he did was to suppress the results of the NDC and find ways, crafty and creative ways, of, as it were, dampening the performance of the NDC in the Volta region.
In his capacity as regional chairman.
Correct. So he delivered the Volta region in a funny way to the NPP in 2016. Now, in 2020, he's delivered the Volta region in his own way. This time, he could not suppress the votes the way he did in 2016, because somehow a lot has happened. So the dynamics and the complexities of the election from 2016 and now, a lot has happened that he could not deliver the Volta region the same way he did in 2016, i.e. by dampening the votes. So this time, he delivered the Volta region for himself, and of course, in the process, for the NPP. Again, he demonstrates one thing. His electoral performance demonstrates one thing, i.e., the fact that although the parliamentary elections do not necessarily follow developmental patterns, so to speak, because parliament and parliamentarians are not development agents, but they have been over the years. But although the votes do not necessarily follow that pattern, if you look at the fact that particularly those in opposition tend to do well, and there has been a trend where those in opposition, MPs in opposition, tend to do well in terms of unseating incumbents, even if incumbents overall maintain their majority from election to election. What we've had is that Peter Amewu's interventions and his, it appears the NPP deliberately invested in Peter, followed that pattern. If you look at the fact that particularly those in opposition tend to do well, and there has been a trend where those in opposition, MPs in opposition, tend to do well in terms of unseating incumbents, even if incumbents overall maintain their majority from election to election. What we've had is that Peter Amewu's interventions and his, it appears the NPP deliberately invested in Peter, followed that pattern. If you look at the fact that particularly those in opposition tend to do well, and there has been a trend where those in opposition, MPs in opposition, tend to do well in terms of unseating incumbents, even if incumbents overall maintain their majority from election to election. What we've had is that Peter Amewu's interventions and his, it appears the NPP deliberately invested in Peter, followed that pattern. If you look at the fact that particularly those in opposition,
I was just, because you went to Hohoe, I wanted to take him to the central region where there's been a major upset, because we know that George Andah has fallen. making way for sister to Hannah Tete. And that surprises a lot of people. I wonder if you're surprised by this.
Again, yes and no. Yes, because I thought that as an incumbent MP, and I thought that having stood against not the previous incumbent he defeated, but if you like, and with all respect, I mean, use that advisedly, but a substitute candidate, because the then incumbent who was defeated by George Andah had moved on in some other things he's doing. I thought that he would have not only the gravitas, but the understanding of the subtleties of the election in that part, and therefore somehow he was going to deliver the election for himself. Also bearing in mind the fact that he's an astute marketer, having moved from the corporate world with certain achievements that made him today the politician he is. So that's the yes part of my surprise. But the no part of my surprise lies in the fact that that particular constituency has been a constituency on the watch list. And the performances of the two candidates that resulted in his victory showed that there were some tensions, showed that there were lots of unresolved things, and showed that the result in that particular area was not cast in stone for any candidate from election to election. What that also meant is that for any candidate to win, you must put in the industry and the effort. Now, it has been the case, as I indicated, that MPs in power often have a difficulty winning their seats unless the seat is a safe seat or unless you demonstrate a clear case of commitment for the time you were in office in terms of your connection back to the roots. And I'm just saying this because MPs who are not in office often tend to invest more time and work in industry in their areas as they aspire to take over the seat from the previous, whoever is in the incumbent. And the ones in office, of course, you combine with your ministerial position. For someone like him, I think he was the Deputy Minister.
Communications.
Yes, Deputy Minister of Communications. So if you put all this together, I'm not surprised because I knew that there were tensions in that area and it was one to watch. But I'm surprised, again, at the same time.
On us, though, in a certain sense, because of the candidate who beat him. Not even the fact that she was related to the candidate he beat, but the fact that nobody's mind was on, I think it's Gisela Tete. I've known the family since I was a child on UCC campus, so I know all the sisters, Gisela, Hannah, Christina, Gabriela. Nobody's mind was on Gisela as a threat to George Andah. It seemed as if George Andah had turned the constituency into his own, and everyone kind of expected things to go.
Besides, this was also just his first term, and he's from a party in government.
To put in the funny ways to say, I'm surprised that you're surprised. Now, it's imperative to remember that when George Andah defeated Hannah Tete, it was a surprise. People knew George Andah, the corporate man. But George Andah, the politician who dislodged Hannah Tete, who was a guru at that time, was a bit of a surprise too. I mean, we knew that he was known for some things, but in the political circles, it was a tsunami of a kind for him to have dislodged her at that time. So the point I'm making is, clearly that particular constituency has become a notable swing.
So it's probably more of a commentary on the people of Awutu Senya than the candidates who have sort of yo-yoed their way in and out of office there. It seems there is something that moves the vote in Awutu Senya, and that will be interesting to analyze in the coming days, right?
And the Central Region could just seem to be a place that we are also watching because it looks like there are a few changes. And just to remind our viewers and our listeners that back in 2016, the NPP won 19 seats, retaining 6 of the 7 previously held, wrestling 13 others from the NDC. And they may be coming back in some ways from the results that we've received so far. It's a place that we're watching.
Indeed. And the Central Region has always been that swing region that also indicates the winner,
Indeed.
Without fail.
Indeed. Yeah.
So let's talk about Ayawaso West Wuogon. It's become the poster constituency of the 2020 elections. On social media, I don't think there are any other two contesting candidates who have, captured the imagination of people more than John Dumelo and Lydia Al-Hassan. This is the constituency in which you work. I don't know if you live there as well, Kofi, but certainly you work there.
He did some piece of work related to that, which was the Commission of Inquiry
I was coming
that
to that in a roundabout way, yes.
And we have a vigilante law.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily because of the Commission's work,
but because of what happened in that
Exactly.
constituency, leading to the Commission's work.